Let's talk about parking garages, the concrete giants everyone loves to hate, even though we honestly can't live without them. These things dominate city blocks, swallow up entire chunks of real estate, and quietly shape how we move through places like malls, airports, or hospitals. Yet, we barely give them a second thought. We just drive in, get annoyed, park somewhere, promptly forget where we left the car, wander around in a daze, and leave, vowing to do better next time. But here's what most people miss. Designing parking garages is actually a hot topic. Behind closed doors, there's a whole debate going on that determines whether you spend 5 minutes or an hour hunting for your car. Seriously, mathematicians, traffic engineers, psychologists, even Nobel Prize winners get in on this. On the lighter side, let's be honest, parking garages are also the perfect backdrop for any secret spy business. If you need to meet someone in a trench coat holding a mysterious envelope, where else would you go? It's the echoes, the weird lighting, the endless corners, pure cinematic gold. But spy stuff aside, most of the time, these places are just the worst. Dull concrete, bad smells, ominous echoes, and no matter how often you park in the same one, you'll still lose your car. It just happens. Every time. Still, not all parking garages are equally maddening. Some actually feel okay, and it's not just about cleanliness or better light bulbs. The design matters. A lot. The ramps, how the rows are set up, where the elevators are, and whether the signs actually make sense. All these details add up and reveal a ton about how we design spaces, handle traffic, and just deal with other people. So I figured, why not dig into what actually makes a parking garage good or bad? Let's talk layout, design, and why some garages make you want to scream, while others don't. Nobody else seems to want to tackle this, so I'm here for the hard questions. The mysteries of concrete spirals and the fate of all our lonely metal boxes, because someone has to ask. Now, before we jump further, if you're planning to build a parking garage right now, pause. Maybe just don't. Try building homes or a train line or, really, anything besides another storage closet for cars. America's drowning in parking spots. There are cities where there's more land for parking than for people to actually live. That's wild. And it's a real problem. But okay, that's a bigger topic. Maybe one day I'll do a deep dive on it. But say you're dead set on building a parking garage. Fine, there's a lot to consider. Tons of trade-offs. And understanding these trade-offs, that's the secret to knowing why some garages just work, and others feel like an elaborate psychological torture device. Here's where it all begins, with the size of the parking spaces. Those rectangles where your car will sit, minding its own business while you handle life. In general, a regular parking spot is 8 feet 3 inches wide, 2.5 meters if you're a metric person. That's enough for an average car with the doors open, so you can actually get out without smacking the car next to you. Compact car spots get away with 7 feet 6 inches. That's exactly as wide as Yao Ming is tall. Don't try using Yao Ming as a unit of measurement in real life, or as a floor mat. It won't help. For shopping or grocery lots, you want to make the spots even wider, 9 feet, about 3 meters. Those extra 6 inches on either side aren't just a luxury. People need space to awkwardly shove bags into the back seat, apparently because opening the trunk is way too much work. Retail parking brings out a whole different side of human nature. Once you've decided that, you start sweating the rest. Ramps, turns, lights, exits, signs, elevators, stairs, fire sprinklers, drainage, air quality, you name it. The list gets long, fast. So yeah, parking garages might look boring, but there's a whole world of design headaches and arguments behind every single one. Keep your ramp at a 5% grade or less. Anything steeper and cars start to hate you. That's 5 feet up for every 100 feet you drive forward. Most cars handle it fine, no scraping noises, no drama. Sure, you can push it to 7% if you have to, but things get dicey. Suddenly, your emergency brake matters, and you're just a little too aware of gravity. not fun. If you don't have people parking on the ramp, just driving up or down it, you can make things steeper. 12 to 14% is workable, maybe even 20 if you're absolutely positive there's no snow, no ice, and people have decent tires. But 20%? That's steep. You feel it in your gut. That's not a slope you want to mess with when it's slick outside, especially not with a beat-up front-wheel drive car. Just don't. Another big deal, at least 2 exits. That's fire code. If there's a fire, people need ways out, no exceptions. And don't skimp on lights. People hate dark garages. They're creepy, and the last place anyone wants to be late at night. Good lighting everywhere keeps things safe, and people less likely to imagine they're in the opening scene of a horror movie. And there's some odd psychology to loop count. Nobody wants to drive more than 6 loops inside a garage. Go further, and folks just lose it. Suddenly you're lost. You don't know what floor you're on, and frustration takes over. Anything more than 6 loops, and you've overdone it. Of course, all of this comes after some obvious stuff. What does your site look like? Is there enough land? Are you building underground, or does the garage need to hold up a skyscraper? These shape everything, what's possible, what's not. Designing a parking garage is a weird blend of maximizing space, or stalls as the industry calls them, and keeping everything usable and code compliant. More stalls mean more cash. It's classic supply and demand. But you can't ignore traffic flow. The driver experience is a balancing act, and a parking garage is basically competitive musical chairs with 3,000-pound chairs and bumper stickers like, "I'm not speeding, I'm qualifying." Somehow you have to manage people searching for spaces, people leaving, and pedestrians wandering through, all without creating chaos or gridlock. Every design has its upsides and drawbacks. Everyone focuses on not killing pedestrians. If your design doesn't, it's back to the drawing board. Let's start basic. The single helix garage. Parking on the ramps, 2-way traffic. You drive up in a loop until you spot an open space. When you're done, you head back down the same way. It's dead simple. The pros? Nobody gets lost. Up and down, same route. Even the most distracted driver can manage it. The cons? Whenever someone tries to sneak into a space or back out, everyone waits. You're stuck behind whoever's slower. Traffic piles up, folks start honking, and frustration builds. Busy days turn the whole setup into a slow-moving parade. You inch past row after row of full spaces, hoping for a break, but odds are, the guy ahead of you gets it first. It's DMV-level misery, just in your car and alone, with nobody to blame except the universe. There's a big flaw with this design. Everybody has to drive all the way up. Say you only want to park on level 2. You still have to creep past level 1 first. And if that's full, then you keep crawling, level by level, in a straight line, until you finally find a spot. It's slow, super inefficient. You can fix some of that with a smarter layout. Let's talk about the double helix. Now, this setup is something else when it comes to getting cars in and out. You've got separate ramps. One spirals up, the other spirals down. You only go up on the up ramp and only down on the down one. And if things get clogged or you miss a spot, with a few well-placed crossover points, you can just cut to the other helix and try your luck over there. Plus, because of the one-way flow, you get double-loaded parking. That means you're driving down a single lane, but you can pull into spots on both sides, left and right. Instead of wasting space with one side being a wall, both sides hold cars. So a lot more space goes to actual parking, not just driving lanes. Way more efficient. With a double helix, you can sometimes squeeze in more than twice as many parking spaces in the same area. We're talking about jumping from 200 up to 450 spaces, no change in the building's footprint. That's a massive difference. That can turn a money-losing garage into a moneymaker. And really, you save a ton of driving. People don't all have to spiral endlessly up and down. You can skip between ramps, head straight for your level, and dodge extra loops. It's flexible, it's quick, it just works. But there's a catch. people get lost. And I don't just mean they wander a little. Some folks look for their car, swear they see it, take the ramp down, and suddenly they're not where they thought they'd be. These separate, one-way helixes twist your sense of direction. You think your car's right there, but it's actually a floor up or on the opposite side, and now you're wandering around, totally baffled. And it really messes with people. It's not just general confusion, it starts to feel personal. Like, am I losing it? Where did I even park? Did I just forget how parking garages work? Just check TikTok. People rant about maddening parking garages where they just can't find their cars. 9 times out of 10, those places use the double helix design. And honestly, if you get that lost in a single helix, you might need a GPS just for life. So that's the trade-off. Single helix is simple, but wastes time when it's busy. Double helix is efficient, but sooner or later, somebody's wandering around searching for their car. Nothing's perfect. Every garage makes you sacrifice something. Now, if you want to make things even faster, or, depending on your take, more complicated, you can add ramps just for driving. These are called speed ramps or express ramps. Speed ramps are easy. They're just short connecting ramps with no parking. They bridge one floor to another, letting you zip from, say, level 2 to 3 without hunting for spaces or dodging people backing up. Because you don't need to leave room for parked cars or wide turns, these can be tighter and steeper too. Express ramps are the heavy hitters. They let you blast up or down through the entire garage without passing a single parking spot. The garage's version of a highway. You see them in places like Norfolk International Airport. There, the center has spiral express ramps, nothing but a fast trip up or down. You pick a ramp, ride it to the right level, and then swing over to search for an open spot. These express ramps, they're often double helices too, but with no parking. You loop up 2 floors at a time, go from level 1 to 3 in a single spin, from level 3 to 5 in the next. It's fast, efficient, kind of like a car elevator, but you're driving. And that's how clever garage design can either make your life a lot easier, or leave you wishing you wrote down where you parked. You don't have to waste much time tailing someone through this garage, hoping they'll vacate a spot. If level 2 is packed, just zip up to level 4. Still no luck? Keep going to 6. There's no miserable loop, floor by floor, hoping something opens up. It's all quick ramps and shortcuts. But don't expect it to be simple. It'll confuse you just like any double helix parking structure does. Park on the right side of the 4th floor, and good luck even locating your car on the left side if you forgot which elevator you used. It's not just a garage, it's a maze, a labyrinth, maybe even a cruel little puzzle box. And it's not just the level you have to remember. You need to know which side of the spiral you're on, which elevator connects to which side, and keep track of all the directions: up, down, left, right, fronts, and backs. It's a lot to hold in your head, honestly. But if there's a gold standard for these, you'll find it under the Royal Botanical Garden in Sydney, right beneath the Sydney Opera House. This place doesn't just hide parking. It shows off what you can do with a little creativity. Back when they came up with plans, the garage was supposed to be your average rectangular box. Stacked floors, basic ramps. Nothing fancy. Then safety codes came in. A rule that said you couldn't be more than 60 meters from a fire escape, no matter where you parked. Makes sense. If there's a fire, you need out fast. The problem was, squeezing in that many fire escapes just ate up all the space. The garage was turning into a Swiss cheese of lost parking spots, barely worth the trouble or expense. Then someone pitched a big idea. Build a curving double helix ramp, cylinder-shaped, plunging 12 stories underground. You only feel like you've gone down 6, though, because the helix doubles back on itself. These curves make room for more efficient fire escapes. Tuck them into the middle or edges. Either way, fewer wasted spaces. Functionally, it's your basic double helix, but in Sydney, it's just cooler. All those curves twining under the Opera House, echo that wild rooftop architecture up above. It fits the place. Honestly, it's beautiful for a parking garage. Seriously, have you seen the photos? Those curves and spirals. It's almost like someone built a giant concrete sculpture and then decided, yeah, why not? We'll put some cars in it. It's art you can drive into. And yet, with all this design, you still end up with the same trade-offs. As garages get more efficient, you're more likely to get lost. The easier they are to use, the more you're just stuck waiting for someone else to finish a 16-point turn. There's no perfect fix. You're just picking your poison. Still, think about this. The double helix got Watson, Crick, and Wilkins the Nobel Prize for mapping the structure of DNA. If it's good enough for your very existence, it's probably good enough for a Civic. Wild, isn't it? The pattern that decides your eye color is the same one that decides how quickly you'll forget where you parked. There's something weirdly poetic about that. In the end, designing garages is just endless problem solving. You're boxed in by land, money, codes, how people drive, the whole mess. The goal? Solve as many headaches as you can and live with the rest. It's a puzzle. An incredibly expensive and concrete puzzle. Frankly, between the ticket machines that never spit out tickets right, the apps that never work, and that hopeless feeling when you realize you have no idea where your car is, there's a lot we could improve. Which is exactly why getting better at problem solving matters. There's actually a tool for that. Brilliant. It helps you get smarter at these messy challenges. Maybe the people who design parking garages should give it a try. Honestly, we all probably should. Brilliant isn't just another learning platform. It helps you actually reach your goals. Honestly, I'm no engineer. I don't design parking garages, and I definitely don't navigate them well. I'm the person who takes a photo of their parking spot and somehow still gets lost. I follow the arrows, end up in the wrong zone, and spend way too long hunting for my car. Parking garages? Total disaster for me. But thanks to Brilliant and its interactive challenges, stuff like proportional reasoning and coordinate planes, I've gotten way better at tackling problems that are tougher than parking garage design. Now I can wrap my head around things like traffic patterns, optimizing spaces, or just trying to predict what people are actually going to do. You're probably better at math than me, or you could be. Brilliant's got all these different ways to approach learning, and suddenly math, engineering, or science makes more sense. There's no memorizing a bunch of formulas or wading through boring textbooks. Everything's interactive and actually fun. You build up mental models you can use in real life. Like, maybe now you could navigate a confusing parking garage and not wander for hours. Say you understand circles and spirals, you'll get why a double helix parking garage works the way it does. You could even guess where you are based on the shape of the ramp, so finding your car? Way easier. If you get how traffic flows or queuing theory works, you'll understand why a single helix garage turns into a nightmare when it's crowded. It's not just your bad luck, it's actual math. Maybe you'll feel less annoyed, or at least have something to ponder while you wait. And if you know a bit about human psychology and spatial reasoning, you'll realize people don't get lost in garages because they're clueless. It's because the design is confusing. It's not your fault, so stop blaming yourself. That's what Brilliant offers. Tools to tackle problems, or at least understand them. If you want to try Brilliant for free, go to brilliant.org/HAI, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description. They're giving viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which means unlimited access to all their courses, lessons, and challenges. Seriously, give it a shot. Maybe I'll finally stop making videos about parking garages. But honestly, if everyone solved their parking garage problems, I'd run out of stuff to talk about. So, I'm torn. Let's go back to parking garages for a second. They're confusing, frustrating, and, let's be real, not the best smelling places on earth. You lose your car, maybe your mind, and always waste too much time. But they're also fascinating. Every garage is a solution to a unique set of challenges. You can see what the designers cared about and what they had to trade off. Single helix garages value simplicity. They want people to not get lost. Confusion is public enemy number one, so clarity takes priority over efficiency. It's for folks who just want to park and get out. Double helix garages are about packing in as many cars as possible. The designers fear running out of space, so density rules over clarity. You might get a bit lost, but hey, there's room for everyone. Express ramp garages? All about speed. Drivers can zip between floors because wasted time is the big problem. Perfect for airports or train stations where everyone's rushing. Then there's the Sydney garage. It's designed to fit its surroundings and echo the architecture above. Aesthetics win over simplicity, so it looks cool, even underground. None of these approaches are wrong. They're just different ways to answer the same question. How do you stuff thousands of cars into a limited space without driving everyone insane? Designs like that. There's rarely a single right answer, just trade-offs. You decide what matters most and deal with the consequences. For parking garages, it's us, the users, who pay the price. We get lost in the double helix, stuck in traffic in the single helix, or race up and down the express ramps only to forget which floor we're on. Sometimes we marvel at the Sydney garage's architecture, but secretly wish it had a few more signs. And that's the real story behind parking garages. Complicated choices, messy outcomes, and a whole lot of lost cars. We're all test subjects in this wild experiment called the modern parking garage. And honestly, the experiment never really stops. People keep building new garages, dreaming up new blueprints, trying out new materials, and wiring in the latest tech. There's always another angle, another fix someone wants to try. One day, maybe every garage just parks your car for you. No hunting, no drama, just pull up, hand off your keys, and some robot whisks your car away. Not even science fiction. Some places actually have this already. It's weirdly impressive, kind of futuristic. Or imagine an app that remembers exactly where you parked, then guides you right back to your spot, with bright, augmented reality arrows floating on your phone screen. You just follow the line, no way to get lost. Maybe one day, someone will finally come up with a garage that just makes sense. Easy to use, crams in all the cars, nobody confused, no headaches. Maybe someone's close to cracking the code, but for now, we get what we get. Endless spirals, helix ramps, signs that might as well be hieroglyphs. It's like a mirror held up to our priorities. We get the garages we deserve, all the little annoyances and frustrations baked in, because somewhere along the line, that trade-off made sense to somebody. So next time you're circling around, running late, wondering why you didn't just take the bus or stay home, remember, you're part of a much bigger experiment. You're one of millions of data points. Your little bits of frustration are, in theory, making the next version of Garage a tiny bit better. Or not. Maybe the next one's worse. It could be a double helix ramp system nobody understands, with signs that only make things harder. A nightmare in concrete, wrapped up with a bow made of weird arrows. But hey, at least you get it now. You see the trade-offs, the reasons behind the chaos. Next time you're staring at some impossible garage, at least you can go, ah, so this one went for maximum capacity, clarity be damned. You'll still be annoyed, but at least you'll know why. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes just understanding makes it a little easier to cope, or not. If you still want to scream, well, you're in good company. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Emma, and this was SmartScope. If you want to support the channel, check out Brilliant in the description. It honestly helps out. And if you've got a parking garage war story, drop it in the comments. I want to hear about all the times you nearly gave up, took an Uber, or just sat and cried in the stairwell. You're not alone. Let's swap stories. See you next time.